Yes, people, welcome to Never a Foul. I might look a bit tired. I wonder why. But Ramadan Mubarak to everybody that's celebrating, obviously, Ramadan. Big up to everyone that woke up for Fajr this morning, which is the first prayer. But yeah, unless you went to Tarawih as well. So big up to you. But yeah, man, we're talking about the football. George is gonna be here in about 5 minutes. Just obviously people got work as well while we're trying to work. We're going to be talking about the games of the weekend as well. And I'm joined by Tom, who's going to be on a Monday typically. Monts as well. Obviously, Martin can't make it. If you do know, obviously, Martin said about 7 days prior that he wouldn't be here next week, Monday. Obviously, I'm still going to say he's running away a little bit. And then obviously, Lewis, who's typically here as well, is away because he has, so he'll be back next week. But it doesn't mean that 4 people can't discuss the games. Obviously, Liverpool, Man City's controversial stalemate. Arsenal remain top of the league, getting a late winner as well. And then obviously a little bit of bits and bobs. Obviously, Tottenham smashing the life out of Aston Villa. But yeah, man, pick up everyone that's in the building. Please smash the like button. All the likes go a long way. So if you are hearing this, subscribe. I think we're like 1 subscriber away from 21K months.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think we are.
Get that done right now.
I might be bugging. Let me double check this.
Get that done right now.
Oh no, tell a lie. I'm lying. We're 100. Sorry, we're 100. But nonetheless, it's all right. Tom, what we saying, man? You said you was used a word called you was what?
Bladdered.
You was bladdered. What's bladdered?
Drunk.
Yourself?
Very drunk. Very drunk.
I thought
not very happy.
Not
very happy either.
Is it on in life or because of
about the football match yesterday? Life's great, apart from the PGMOL.
Fucking pricks.
Whoa, please, please don't swear. Please try to refrain from swearing during this holy month around me, please. Thank you. I'm trying to be a different person, as long as possible. But yeah, please, once get your acting skills on. But yeah, your tears, I love them. You know what? It's been a long time since I've actually sat here in this chair, Tom. Yeah, and actually got to say, you know what? Liverpool dropped some points for 1, and 2 that I'm hearing all the excuses in the world. So loving it. Yes, but. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna dive straight into the game. Now, let's go back to the game because last night once every time we tried to do like praise players or maybe give some criticisms, you know what happened? It expanded and we didn't really get to talk about it. It wasn't a penalty. Stand by it. Why are you shaking your head?
Just breathe.
You
told me not to swear during the holy time, so I'm just gonna breathe in it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna breathe.
I mean that's how you stay alive once you breathe.
No, it's fine. I can coexist without breathing. So just let's.
Tom, talk to me about the GBH that you witnessed yesterday.
I watched Alexis McAllister, best midfielder on the pitch, by the way. Alexis McAllister absolutely fly kicked in the chest. After winning the ball first and be told to get up, get on with it, stop ruining the beautiful game with your diving. What more do we need for a penalty in the last minute of a title deciding game potentially? Does he need to have his head taken off? Do we need a repeat of Mane versus Ederson in 2017? Is that what we need? Is that the benchmark for penalties for high footing Liverpool versus Man City? A move that some of the best UFC fighters will be proud of. We need that on the football pitch because apparently Jeremy Doku kicking someone square in the chest is not enough. It's not enough. And it just blows my mind how once again in a big game, the big decisions go against us. 3rd time this season.
All right. First thing first, to have a fly kick, there needs to be some vim with it in it. Last time I checked, I don't think there was much vim. He was,
just check your Twitter. If you still think he gets double first, check your Twitter. I don't know how many versions I have to send.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, see, somehow my hair is just on a wave. Yeah, so if I don't see it correctly, it's because I'm tired. Yeah, and for good reason. Let me double check this. I might change my mind through Twitter, people. So as you're hearing this, what am I looking for, Monts? Oh, you shared a
Just check
post.
again. Yeah. Oh, you can put it. Hey, you can probably. It's not a mad.
You know what?
It's the TV screen version, but it's up to you if you want to risk it. You can just watch it yourself.
You know what? I can't lie. I can't lie. Even on okay, I see what you're saying now. That's a bit of a different angle. Did he even make contact with this guy? Oh, you know what? This is live, people. Sorry, I can't show you guys. Obviously, I don't want to get copyright. Yeah, I can't lie, man. If that was against my yeah, I think on that angle, that's looking like a
It's looking like a penalty, isn't it?
that's looking like this.
That's what I was trying to say. That he doesn't actually get the ball.
You know what? I concede. That's a penalty, bro. That's a penalty. That's a pen. That's a penalty. I can't lie. If that was you know what I need to do this year. I need to put my head. If I was Man United and that was the last second, am I thinking that's a penalty? If I'm looking at that on a high foot and you're grabbing chest and ball, yeah, I'm not even gonna cap, man. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe GBH might be on the cards. I think Metropolitan Police might have to have a word. I think that was pretty stupid as well for Doku to let it bounce regardless. It's looking like a penalty. Yeah, it's looking like a penalty. On that angle, what Monster showed me, I can't lie. I don't think you can even really argue with that one at this point. That's a high foot. But yeah, man, look.
I've got the reasons, by the way. I've also got more stuff. VAR officials, the words they used were Doku was adjudged to have challenged the ball in a reasonable position.
Fair enough. But yeah, man, look, let's talk about the game as well. Other than the penalty, we can always talk about Liverpool robbed, ? Again, subjective. My opinion doesn't mean it's the right opinion. But let's talk about a little bit about the game, man. Because in general, you don't have to support either team, in my opinion, Mont or Tom, to know how intense that game is, to be fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just watching it, I'm thinking, like, flipping, I can't keep my eyes off this one. Do you get what I mean? Like, I'm looking at it thinking, like, oh, this could go either way. I can't lie. After the first half, I don't know Monster's going to say 10, 15 minutes. Domination doesn't exactly mean possession all the time. It means chances. It means the way you're closing down, winning the ball back, getting it back to front. I thought, obviously, you lot had a couple chances in the first half, but I just thought the way they were pressing you out in your midfield was really, really good. I thought it was going to be one-sided. Until that goal, it was very, for me, it was one-sided. I don't feel like using the game at all. And then something happened in second half, right? Second half, I've never seen City being dominated like that in, I don't know, if maybe forever. Maybe in maybe a few years once, unless you can remind me about a game. Because honestly, you did deserve to win that game, but you just couldn't finish your dinner. It's as simple as that. Once. You're on mute.
I agree. I feel like it's like the finishing on show. I just think the occasion got to certain players, especially Diaz. I think the occasion got to him. I think people will say that it didn't get to Nunes. I think it also got to Nunes. Not in so much in the obvious form of Diaz, where he missed the gilt edge chances. I feel like the offsides and the not watching the runs. I feel like I think Nunes played the game too emotionally, which probably worked out in terms of the penalty. But obviously, timing your run and kind of just being a bit more smarter, staying a bit more calm. I feel like Nunes' passing wasn't very good. I feel like the quality going forward in the final third wasn't very good all across the board, to be honest. I'm not really going to just pin it on Nunes. But if we're talking on Nunes, I think his passing wasn't great. But he done all right, in terms of creating the opportunities. Diaz, same thing. Final third was, again, abysmal. But his all-round game was just really good as well. So it's with Diaz, it's like a double-edged sword.
They're calling him the Colombian Timo Werner.
No, because what he was doing with his feet, Werner couldn't manipulate the ball like that in his wildest dreams. So
I've not seen a man dog on Rodri and Walker like that in a long time. Back to back in the same move. He was so good up until he had to kick the round thing in the net. And then he just lost all sense of being.
but Tom, that's still not good enough, though. As much as we say that's still not good enough.
that's an issue we've had with a lot of players. If the one thing I will say about yesterday, I thought we were very good with all the circumstances around the game and the players that we had to play. I thought we were incredibly good. It was just the chances fell to the wrong people. If a Diogo Jota's on that pitch, game's different. If Mo Salah's able to play more than 30 minutes, the game's different. But the chances didn't fall to the right people at the end of the day, and I never really felt confident when Diaz was in on goal. The same way that I never used to really feel confident when Mane early on in his Liverpool career was in on goal. I just kept getting the same feelings of he's done the hard work, now how's he going to miss it? And on another day, one of them chances goes in the back of the net, and we're talking about one of the most impressive wins against Manchester City in years. In terms of performance, that gives me a hell of a lot of confidence, even though we didn't win. 100%, because I've not seen us play. We haven't really had many good performances recently. We had good results and good spells, but not really any good performances. I thought that is one of the best performances we've had in a long, long time.
Especially the second half.
Oh, yeah. And even in the first half, we started our moment. I remember the Soboslai header. That was like a 30 pass move. A 30 pass move from back to front, everyone involved. And on another day, that header goes a yard or two inside. And it's one of the best team goals of the season. Stuff like that with the team that we were doing it with the expectation against us, I was really impressed with. I thought the youngsters, your Quansers and your Bradleys and even your Harvey Elliott's, who's I'm shocked Harvey Elliott can still run after the amount of minutes he's played recently. All three of them turned up in a big way, weren't passengers, flowed with the game. I couldn't be much happier with the performance. Obviously, I'd like us to put the round thing in the back of the net more than once. But as a performance overall, really good.
No, I can play goals in it. I think it shows how much we miss Salah as well. I feel like even though Salah wasn't his scintillating self when he came on, you saw the quality.
Like his first touch was a stunning through ball to Diaz.
Yeah, like you saw the difference in quality straight away. And would you say, Tom, innit, like as a Liverpool fan and a fellow Liverpool fan, would you say that Klopp should have brought on Salah maybe 10 minutes earlier? Because you know the flurry of chances, I felt like there was a few moments where Salah would have been in the position that Diaz received the ball a few times. And I feel like Salah would have been there to kind of just in his favorite kind of on his left foot. You know the position where Diaz kind of loses the ball, where his touch is loose when Nunes reverses it and it's a loose touch. Like I feel like Salah could have been in a few of those positions. And
it's a tough one. I don't think Salah. I looked at Salah yesterday and saw someone who wasn't fit. Certainly wasn't fit.
Thank you.
Would he have been in those positions? Maybe, but I don't think he would have been. I think he would have just been lagging a little bit behind. I think that was how he was trying to play this game a little bit because he wasn't 100% fit. He couldn't go in foot races with the likes of Ake, which he's won in the past, because he didn't want to risk the hamstring going again. So he was sort of playing it as a little bit of a deeper forward, hoping that he could use his passing to feed a Nunes or a Diaz or a Gakpo when he came on. And it worked a couple of times, but ultimately that's just the story of us, really. The injuries have arguably done us in a little bit there, because on another day we're able to use a fully fit Salah up against a City back line that was really, really rattled. And not only the City back line, Rodri as well. I've never seen Rodri look so scared on a football pitch.
I don't think he was getting helped by his two midfielders in front. That's not it's not that. No,
but he's the best DM in the world. He's the best DM in the world.
I know that, but even the best players need the support that they need. Obviously, it's a system.
Yeah, but it's a big game, big moment, and those are the moments we gloss. Those are the moments everyone sucks off Rodri for. So let's make our praise out of our disrespect.
Yeah, but you want me to be objective about penalties and stuff, but yet you want me to come in and say, like, obviously Rodri wasn't at his best game.
You said Salah was shit when he came on because of his scintillating standards.
But Salah wasn't good yesterday. Other than the pass, he did nothing. Bro, he did nothing.
Rodri wasn't good either.
Yeah, but Salah was worse. The whole point is, Rodri, when you looked at it, when he turned around, KDB was bro. He wasn't playing the way he was because Endo marked him out the game, right? So in that case, your midfielder of KDB should be doing better because you're getting clamped out the game. Bernardo Silva was playing more inside. I don't even know where he was playing, to be fair. Bro, in my opinion, Bernardo was arse and cheeks. Like, he didn't help hit Rodri out. So every time you saw Rodri turn with the ball, especially in the second half, that's why the midfielders got changed. Because guess what? They're not helping him. Like, Rodri was, to his standard, was not obviously the greatest because he did get pressed, but at the same time, I just don't feel he got help. But that's not down to Rodri being bad or anything. That's because obviously second half, Liverpool were really good.
So
You're
Rodri can
calculating.
never have a bad
I
game.
was gonna.
So, no. Does that mean Rodri can never have a bad game then? So if there isn't options left or right, Rodri's going to have an excuse that he's not going to have anyone to pass to, so he can't play his game, or
He plays game,
plays
though.
really well and plays his game. So right now, guys, Rodri can never have a bad game. By that logic.
Now, Mons, but do you honestly think that Rodri had a bad game? Is that what you're
He
saying?
wasn't, for his standards, he wasn't good.
It wasn't a great game for him, but to point
what
you're doing wrong is you're trying to single him out.
I didn't.
No, I'm not
saying
saying
specifically on Rodri. I'm not like.
Yeah.
We'll get to KDB and we'll get to Phil Foden. We'll get to them, man. But Rodri wasn't for me. Rodri was a lot more negative because obviously it was Liverpool that imposed ourselves. Why Rodri had to be more negative than positive in his passes. But it's like, at what point can we then say that Rodri wasn't good today? Do you know what I'm saying? Because
I agree.
Salah just come back from injury, and I was just told he was crap. But he's just come back from injury. But Rodri's had a run of games, doesn't barely misses a game, has been on his run. City don't lose when he plays. All of that malarkey, he wasn't good.
No, I agree. I'm not going to sit here and defend him, but I would think if you were to point out Rodri out of all the midfield or all of the performances there, you wouldn't single him out. You'd look at the likes of KDB and Bernardo, who were outrunning midfield. Both didn't do their jobs when they were on the ball in the second half anyway. Because the first half, I feel like they actually played well. I feel like the midfield three, they were good. It was just a good midfield battle between both teams. It was end to end. It was good stuff between both of them. But the second half, I think Liverpool's press just killed them. The work from Endo, Harvey Elliott. Who else is in midfield with them? McAllister. Dog work, just completely pressing them, keeping them in their half. I just think it was a case of Pep chose the wrong setup. I think Pep. But I think, like I said prior to the game, I think Pep was going to overthink it. He chose the wrong setup for midfield. He should have started with another 8 in there, someone who's a bit more defensively stout, not just Bernardo and KDB to pair up with Rodri. It should have been Kovacic starting. It should have been Matthias Nunes starting next to him. It should have been one of these players starting next to Rodri to give him that balance. That's why I feel like they went wrong. They left Rodri isolated in midfield at times, and you can't single him out as a bad performer. I just think that's a bit harsh.
Rodri was probably their best midfielder. He was probably their best midfielder, but because I have such high standards for Rodri, because of all the sentiments around him being arguably the best midfielder in the league and the most important midfielder in the league, I've never seen him give away passes like that and not be able to track runs like that and being dropped by players like that. It was a bit of a mad one for me because I'm always used to Rodri being a bit of a cooler head. You can expect KDB to have bad games. You can expect Bernardo to have bad games. But when Rodri is looking that shaky and looking that rattled, it was a bit of a sort of, ooh, what's going on here? And yeah, when he was decent, he was good. Again, the calmness, the composure, that was there in bursts and moments, but it wasn't constant. And I think that was a part of why City struggled. Rodri is the key. Rodri's the glue that holds that City team together. If he can't do what he does, a lot of that team struggles. And you saw it yesterday. The press that we did wasn't necessarily we were harassing them and then taking the ball off them and then at the other end. It was putting pressure on Rodri. Rodri would panic. Rodri would try and play a long ball up, and then we just pick off the pass before it made it to the man. And then we'd go again. Or I thought what was really interesting, what we done yesterday was we basically just let on goal kicks or something. We basically told Joe Gomez, leave the right-hand side. We'll let Szoboszlai take that. You come in at centre-back, and then Van Dijk is just going to run to wherever the ball goes because no one's beating him in the air. And that was another way we were just sustaining pressure. City couldn't get out very often, and that was part of what killed them. And I think that's what affected the players. All them little things that we done to just keep that pressure up, keep that momentum up. like I said, I've never seen City look so rattled or so scared. I know Aston Villa played a really good game against them at Villa Park, but for us anyway, I've never seen City look that scared against us, and this was one of the worst teams we put out against them.
This is my thing. Like on paper, when you look back here, they're gonna go, "How the hell was this game 1-1? And how have City not rolled these man over?" If you didn't sit there and watch the game, I think we're still being a bit polite to Manchester City.
But why? You drew the game.
No,
you didn't win.
But we're talking about the objectives of the game. We know we drew the game. No one's going on like we won. But it's okay just because Man City are these juggernauts. It's okay to say they were shit.
No, but Monts.
It's okay. It's okay to say that KDB was shit.
They weren't that bad though. No, you're overdoing it, Monts.
I'm not overdoing it. I'm not overdoing it, bro. I'm not overdoing it. It was a bad. It was for 70 minutes. For 70 minutes, it was a bad performance for Manchester City. That's it. It was a bad performance from Manchester City. The game was a draw. We can move on, but it was a bad performance for 70 minutes. They were good for 20 minutes, and after that, they weren't good. The players that played against them on paper, they were far superior in quality. So it's as simple as that. Like, I'm not saying that we won 5-0 or this, that, and the third, but City weren't good.
So why don't wait? Monts, I see what you're doing here now.
I'd stop. Why are people saying I have an agenda when I have eyes and I watch that City were rattled and they weren't good? For majority of the game, they weren't good. We keep them at their standards. Stop lowering their standards because there's not enough fans for them for us to be mean to, because they get sensitive every time we actually keep it a buck about Man City. Keep it a buck. Every City fan wants to break down and
wait, Monts, are you going to address the fact that Liverpool, you should have won? Cool.
I said, no, why do people just ignore that?
I didn't finish my point. I didn't say that. I didn't just say you should have won. But the reason you lost, and City were bad. True. You want to make out they were bad. You missed chances. Your attackers missed chances. You lost off your own accord. So you can come and sit here and make out that City were bad, but you're focusing on the wrong thing. Focus on the fact that Liverpool threw the game away. Liverpool should have won the game. You should have walked away with 3 points, but your players threw the game away in a key moment. Luis Diaz, how many chances in front of goals?
We've already discussed this. We've already said this. We've spoken about Diaz's finishing. Fair enough, because you weren't here. We've spoken about Diaz's finish. That's the first thing we spoke about. We spoke about that already.
But the thing is,
I spoke about Diaz and I spoke about Nunes. I said there was.
What about Liverpool? Liverpool as a team. You guys.
Everyone else, apart from the finish and everything else, was fine. That was a brilliant performance.
You know what it is though, Monzo? What about the energy when you lot drew at the Etihad and you lot weren't that good compared to City? City should annihilate you
because they were better than us. They were better than us.
Because there isn't a major influx of a lot of City fans, even online and obviously as content creators. We were praising Liverpool for getting that result because they don't get that result at the Etihad because it's always one team is at one stadium and the other team is at the other stadium. So technically, a lot of City fans thought they were going to lose and they got a point out of it, but it's not job well done. It's you got dominate. Let's talk on you.
City had their full squad.
Yeah, I hear it. I'm not denying
it. You're not hearing it. I don't think you man are hearing it personally.
But but it's the same thing when they lost to Arsenal. Look,
it's not the same thing.
I acknowledge, yeah, that you lot did not have your full squad. But we've said it before. I've seen the worst Liverpool teams do good still, regardless. We knew this. We've been saying this. It's the same thing when City went to Arsenal. When Arsenal, don't get me wrong, I think Arsenal were missing a couple players. But when Man City went to Arsenal and they were missing Rodri and they had to play Rico Lewis and Kovacic as a pivot and all that, we didn't give them the narrative that they were missing their players at that point and KDB and stuff like that. We were just saying, you got beat. Ha, 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 ha. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not even a point of me trying to defend City. I'm trying to make it more balanced. I think I have to go with Jules' part of it. Your performance is really good. You didn't get the 3 points. They didn't lose. They got a point. They're laughing at the end of the day because they knew they should have lost. At the same time, I can't have you even coming on here trying to say that even Phil Foden, because what did Phil Foden do wrong? Like, honestly, he's
shit. What the fuck did he do anything?
For a team that collapsed. For a team that collapsed until Kovacic came on, right? He was working his dude. The only player in that lineup, because it wasn't Haaland and it wasn't the left winger. It's the only player in that lineup, which is something that you boys, Liverpool fans love and Man United fans love, is the work rate of trying to win the ball back, trying to get the ball back to front. But he couldn't because he wasn't getting helped. So I don't look at Foden saying he had an absolute garbage game or anything like that because he was sourcing Gomez up. Gomez should have been the one that should have got brought off, not Connor Bradley, because Connor Bradley was showing the exact same thing.
I've deeped it. You know what? I've deeped it. Aesthetics are everything.
No, it's not.
Aesthetics. I've deeped it. Aesthetics are everything. And here's why.
Is that why?
Here's why. Here's why. Because you're right. Phil Foden moved in that first half, especially. Phil Foden moved to Gomez, innit? He settled down in the second half a bit better, but in the first half, Phil Foden against Gomez was looking like a mismatch. Yes or no? That's all I want to hear. Don't say anything else. Yes or no, man. Yes or no?
Of course, he was looking like a mismatch.
Right. Diaz versus Walker. Was that a mismatch in the game? Yes or no?
No.
Mismatch is the wrong word, but Diaz had him. Diaz had him.
Diaz had him, right? Diaz cooked him.
It's fair
to say Diaz cooked him.
He cooked him at times, but Walker also got him back at times.
Phil Foden actually had 2 clear-cut chances as well.
Clear-cut where?
The one where
Foden missed a couple good chances.
Yeah, he missed a couple chances.
He missed some chances. Clear-cut.
But a couple chances, right? Phil Foden.
Yeah, he did. Did he?
He did.
Yeah, he did. I'm thinking.
The Kelleher save is a Foden one. The Kelleher save is a Foden challenge.
Kelleher is. I'm not joking. See that man? That man is possessed. We need to perform exorcism on him as soon as possible.
And again, the difference is, listen, and I know for me, we already get onto Diaz end product. It stinks. It's rubbish. It's arse. Any word, asinine, whatever word you want to use, Diaz finishing is shit. Foden also missed a one-on-one and didn't do much else and cooked Gomez in the first half. But the energy is completely different. Because Diaz, again, holds man to their standards. If man are calling man world-class, do you know, I understand why people will say that, you know, I might be going a bit too harsh on City. But that's because I hold Manchester City to a certain standard. That's it. Manchester City should never be getting dominated and barebacked by this Liverpool team on paper.
You always
you know what though? This is just semantics now. You're doing this semantics. This City team was the same team that conceded 4 goals to a Tottenham team with no back four. It happens, man. It happens. Just because you had injuries doesn't make it special.
And George, I sat here and even though you
might have praised Tottenham, but the point is that happened.
I sang your praises because in no world should that have happened.
I hear that, but it happens to City. That's the point.
I George them wants to get hot. Go on, just let him continue.
No, it's again because the energy's shown one way. But the energy is not being reciprocated, and then man are telling me I have the agenda.
Reciprocated, energy is
it's just simple. Open your eyes. City did not have a good game, and it's as simple as that. They drew the game. They're happy with. Hold on. They're happy with the draw. They're happy with the draw. So that signifies why they weren't good. They weren't good.
They weren't. No. Overall, Liverpool were the better team. Let's not say that the energy is not reciprocated for Liverpool because guess what? Go on my videos since January and see how much I praise Liverpool to the high heavens as a Man United fan. So I don't want that on this panel. I praised Liverpool yesterday.
What I've noticed, what I can see
yesterday, I praised them. I'm just getting away from the negatives.
It's not that. Look, why Monts is annoyed. I've clocked it all because as we know, Monts usually comes here after a big win. And he needs his praise. He comes here, he's asking for praise. He wants this, he wants that, he wants this. After this game, he realized Liverpool played good. He can ask for praise, but then he's realized, this is a title challenge game. I can't focus on about how good Liverpool played because we walked away with a point. So now he's focusing on how bad City were and how bad and all the bad points about City. He's going to put all the focus on that because it's going to take away from the fact that Liverpool never walked away with 3 points. Liverpool are no longer top of the table. That's exactly what you're doing. You're trying to take away from the main factor that this game was bigger for Liverpool than it was for City. Yes,
it was as big for both
bigger. Wait, Tom. It was bigger because you was first. You had the
wait. Hold on.
You was at home.
Hold on. Wait,
if we weren't top, they would have said you guys had the chance to lose. It was your game to drop. No, it's fine. No, because George, if it was the other way around, you would have said you guys had the chance to go top, and you didn't go top, so you bottled it. That's all I would have.
You're at home. You're deflecting. It's all right, man. I hear it.
Can I say something quick? Just
bring up Pac-Man's comment.
No football relations.
In 20 acres.
One set months. No football relations. Hey, by the way, David, I'm fasting, innit? Don't try to come up in here and tell me how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, and how it is that I'm defending City because that's is in the room or whatever like that. I will cuss City if I have to. But please, if you want to keep saying that about 10, 15 times, I can see your first comment, G. I just don't want to respond to you because it's stupid. I don't usually do this, by the way, to stop. I haven't done this in a long time. In future, I give mods any chance. Get rid of these sort of people. I'm not trying to see all that stuff. I'm fasting, man. Relax, bro. Like, honestly. Like, just because you don't like my comment doesn't mean you try to get onto, man. Because it's stupid, man. Come on, man. Do better. But yeah, go on, continue. Sorry, I thought I had to address that quickly because clearly my...
I said bring up Pac-Man's comment where he just said City were poor yesterday. He said City were poor yesterday. I don't know what's so mad about me saying City were shit. There's nothing wrong with me saying they were shit. They got the draw. They were happy with the draw. There's nothing wrong with me saying they were shit. I've already spoke. I said I've already spoken
wrong with that. But you're focusing on it. You're making this.
I'm not focusing on it. The only reason this convo is going on is because I'm saying they were shit, and you man are defending them for what? What are you man defending a shit performance from Man City? Like we already know Liverpool should have buried their chances. We know we should have had a penalty. Either way, it shouldn't have got to the point where we had to rely on a penalty to go and get the 3 points because the game should have been dead and buried before that. I said this yesterday and I'll say this now. But because I'm telling you that, boom, City was shit, you man, I'm not holding them to the standards that they were. When you man saw the starting lineups, everyone thought Liverpool was getting pumped.
Bring up Catman's comment. That defines this. Liverpool can get credit, but you still drew 1-1.
I'm not asking for credit. If I asked for credit, I would have told you, bro.
But what you're doing is you're battering City.
I said City was shit. I didn't even say Liverpool made them shit. I haven't even got to that. I just said United was shit, and you guys are jumping on me for saying City was shit.
Well, if City was shit, obviously they were shit because the other team were good.
They were shit.
Yeah.
They were shit because the other team were good.
We didn't win. That's it.
Can I do some supers if you don't mind, guys? By the way, there's 550 of you in the building. Don has got a channel now, so if you want to see Don's channel, it's in the description below. Tom, you've got a channel, don't you?
I do. I haven't uploaded on it for ages, but I do.
You should start uploading, man. You're good at what you do in it. And then obviously Big Six Bands on the road to 10K as well. George, you can find George. Look, you can even see that George Durag Diaries on TikTok. Funny when they lose, so be there because they got a hectic month. Kizzy, the game was stinky. We're coming for everyone. Buckle up, and that's an Arsenal fan. Josh T is saying, shout out to Endo, mashing the thing up in the game. A man has come in and been absolutely impeccable. I can't lie, ever since that Palace game, I can't lie. That is. He won't go down as one of the best signs of the season, top 3, because you know why? Because of his price tag and his age, and he's not got a name full of glitter. Right now, that man is looking. It's mental, man. He's made the difference. Jamrock Mons, that 220 stretch where Firmino scored, that Mane hit the post, and Mane scored in that 4-3 game in the most rattled I've seen City be.
But that was a 2-minute stretch. I think we had them on the ropes for about a 25-30 straight minutes.
Oh yeah,
Don't say that, Tom.
No, no one said that. No one said that. Robert says, with all that, you still couldn't beat them on their worst day. You had a chance to go 4 points ahead and choked, but hey, you're proud of the boys. Lost the title there.
How did we have a chance to go 4 points ahead? By the way,
was your point ahead?
City, I think.
Was your point ahead of them, or 2 points ahead?
He means
ahead of City, right? I thought you was on about 4 points ahead of the top of the table. Sorry.
Amarit, big up yourself. Mons, I can tell you if Liverpool won yesterday, these guys would have said City didn't play well, but we'll never give. I'm about to. We have been. We say you dominated them in the second half, like we never seen before. Did you not hear me say that? Maybe you didn't.
We both said that. We said there was much better in the second half.
If Nunes had Foden or Haaland stats, same energy. Yeah, look, we can get onto the positive, and that's totally fine before we move on in it, because obviously that's the main game yesterday, Tom. The main game. Look, I yesterday said Van Dijk is seriously one of the in a long while. And even right now as it stands, whether it's form or class or however you want to name it, Van Dijk is just night and day clear of any centre back of today's game, and that's a fact. Our last season, like. He's allowed that season. This season, he's put it right. And you know what? I think he's probably adjusted his game a little bit. And I said it to Monch yesterday, which he agreed. Sometimes it feels like he's defending by himself. Like literally, it's like, I'm not saying Konate hasn't been because he's been very good. Bradley, has been also good. We didn't even know his name.
Very
Do
good.
you know what I mean? Robertson is not being that so great, and you can say your left back Joe Gomez lately has been on fire. I'm surprised he's kept so fit. And obviously shout out Kwanzaa, still young as well. But Van Dijk is night and day. Endo yesterday done a job. It was like Fred. When Fred was just stuck on KDB, it was the same job, and we was gassed over that kind of thing. You could even say Harvey Elliott is looking like one of the better youngsters in Europe right now because that man's ridiculous. 20 years of age. People forget this guy's 20 years of age, but we won't remember that. People think he's actually 22 or something like that. So there is a lot of positives for Liverpool in terms of performance, something that's been criticized for your team. So that is maybe something of momentum that you could possibly go on to the next game. And you've got a really good bunch of fixtures coming up for yourselves.
Yeah, there's a couple of dodgy ones in the running, but I have said that the performance yesterday gives me a lot of credit because we did that without, in my opinion, 6 starters. Salah obviously came on, but you might as well have not come on because I really think he was still struggling.
Small months.
That level of performance, if we can just get close to that for the remaining games, I don't see many, if any, games where we drop points because that we made the best team in the country rattled. That they did not want to be there. On another day, if my wingers and my strikers knew how to kick the round thing in the back of the net, we're leaving very happy, but they don't. So that's part of the plan. I think for me, a part of why I'm not as angry about a draw, and I've been saying it from the start, is I think Arsenal have some really tough games.
Yeah, they do.
The fact that the game after the international break is City versus Arsenal at the Etihad, at least one of them is dropping points.
That could be a real title. Like if Arsenal do end up beating them, anyone though, like if Arsenal, let's say they do go to Etihad and get points, 3 points.
Oh,
is that time to exclude City out of the title then, and then say Arsenal, even with Arsenal all these hard fixtures, would you say Arsenal become favourites and they'll probably blitz the rest of their opponents? Would anyone agree with that?
I don't think Arsenal win all the games. I'll be honest. I don't see Arsenal winning all their games to end the season. I don't, just because if they did,
they still got to come to the lane, lads. They ain't winning everything.
They're wiping the floor with you. I can't lie, man. But continue.
I couldn't tell you which game they're going to drop points in, but if they were to win every game to end the season, Arsenal would then break the record for the longest winning streak in Premier League history. They'd have won 19 on the bounce. Arsenal are good. Arsenal are playing really well. Arsenal aren't going to win 19 games on the bounce with Champions League in there as well.
We're beating you at Old Trafford.
You're beating us at Old Trafford?
In the Premier.
Right.
You see how no one reacted to that, Cass? Let's just carry on. Let's just carry on. Let's just carry on.
I'm just saying, I can't concede that Liverpool are beating me at Old Trafford. We're leaving with something. Like, we have to. We must.
You're struggling
I'm saying it right now. I'm saying it right now. No, but I'm saying no. I believe it. No, I do. I believe it. We must. Man United must, because these lot are not allowed to win the title. Can I not spruce up a little bit? We must. Oh, this is the first. I don't care how rubbish Man United are at Old Trafford. We must against this Liverpool. It can definitely happen. It's a derby, bro. No. So I don't care.
I'll be honest. I'm more scared. I am more scared of Everton than I am with United.
You know, get out. Get out, stream. Get out, Tom. Get out. You know what?
I am.
That's shocking. Anyways, but I'm just saying, innit? There could be a blip there. There could be a blip there. Even a draw.
Oh, no, I think every team drops more points to end the season. It's just who is gonna get the best run going. We've got the on paper, probably the easiest set of fixtures.
Easiest run.
We've got Brighton at home, then we've got Everton away, and then Sheffield United.
I said Everton away scares me more than some of the fixtures that we have, to be fair. But I'm more happy because the likes of Alisson, Trent, and Co. and Curtis returned to the team after the international break. That's what
I think the international break has come at the best possible time for us. I think Arsenal should be the team that are most annoyed with this international break coming when it has, because they have so much momentum right now. Especially if they beat Porto on Tuesday.
But they come back from the Dubai break so good. You saw the break.
No, but Mons,
I know what you mean by momentum though.
They don't get to go Dubai again now. They ain't going, okay, we'll spend another 3 weeks in Dubai. It's half the squad are going to go play dead international games against dead national teams, which they probably don't want to do, instead of playing Prem games and Champions League games. I'm only speaking from previous experience. Some of the best Liverpool teams I've ever watched, when they're on a run and then they've got to go on a 2-week-long international break, they come back and it's just a little bit stiff. It's a little bit sort of, because you know what they were before when they had all the momentum. And I think that's what could bother Arsenal just with the fixtures they've got straight afterwards. City can only bounce back. City can only bounce back.
Actually, there's a good stat. I believe when coming back from an international break, I believe Man City have never ever lost. As in, like in this era, obviously
in the Pep era. It's just look, maybe again, I'm not saying Arsenal are Liverpool in that sense, but I'm just speaking from what I've seen. A team that builds a lot of momentum in the way that Arsenal have, which is incredible win after incredible win, incredible performance after incredible performance, and then you just got to have it's effectively you run into a wall where you've got to stop everything, go play for fucking Norway against Gibraltar, which no one really wants to do.
Yeah, let's talk.
And then they've got to come back.
The biggest problem is coming back and having those literally 3 days to prepare for a big game like that. For probably their biggest game of the season, they're only going to have a few days to prepare for it. Like you said, they could be coming back from international break where players are either injured or they're tired. They've played too much minutes during that time, and they're just not going to be fully prepared for it. So, like you guys highlight, man, this is not a game that comes at a good time for Arsenal, and I don't see them walking.
I can't. So let's talk about the Arsenal. Like, obviously, Kai Havertz got the winner. Ramsdale nearly sabotaged them again. Overall, though, like I know he's kind of getting to the point where he's probably saying the same thing about this Arsenal team. But Monster's been praising them, and if Monster's praising them, that means Thanos could have won the war too. But I'm just saying, like, Arsenal have been that good, Monster. I don't think this kind of ruins their momentum. I think this is probably their best shot at going against the City. This is the best time to run that form in. And to be fair, Man City will want to bounce back. But as you said, like with George, we've seen when it comes to the top 6, it is relevant against Man City right now. They have only beat Man United. So that might, and Arsenal have probably been the best when it comes to at the top traditional 6 have taken points from top 6. And I think Tottenham are not that far off either, like, or something like that.
We've got good records, yeah.
Yeah, they got some good records, you know. And the way Arsenal play fast and everything, it might suit Man City, but it might suit Arsenal at the same time. Because you said about the Diags. How many times have you seen Jorginho spray them Diags? By the way, how many times have you seen Ben White spray a Diag now these days? So I'm just saying it could be a little bit in, you know, Arsenal's hand. They might have a little bit of confidence, a lot more confidence than they did last year, maybe. But they did say this last year. Robbie made that video and they got smoked once.
Yeah. I mean, bro,
you can smile. You can smile.
No, I just quickly got something pop on my phone. No, yeah. Bro, if I'm being honest about Arsenal, I feel like Brentford game they slowed down a little bit. So it's not normal for the momentum to keep going. So I don't think the momentum is as clear cut as people think. So I think the break will actually be good for Arsenal, and then they can kind of reset and go again. I don't think the momentum slows them down. I think it propels them a bit further actually.
Ooh.
Because as I said, I don't feel like it's not like they went and blitzed Brentford 6-0 like they or like 3-0 comfortable win. They just about got over the line. That to me could have been a starting frame as to maybe going into the City game with a little bit less momentum as they did with the previous games. So, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that break for them isn't as bad as what we might be making it out to be. I feel like players like Partey, who's getting like, 10, 15 minutes, gets now another 2 weeks to be fit. Zinchenko gets another 2 weeks. Timber gets another 2 weeks. Jesus gets another 2 weeks. I feel like I only really see the positives from an Arsenal standpoint in terms of this international break. The only thing I'll say that could be a negative is that City are going to want to bounce back, and it's very difficult to play City when they're willing to bounce back. And I think Pep rarely lets things go for 2 games in a row. We rarely even see one bad performance from City.
Yeah,
I think Pep realizes what's at stake in this game. If they lose this game, and we beat Brighton, and Arsenal obviously win, Arsenal go. I think we're both
4 points.
Yeah, we both go 4 points clear, which is a bit of a bad spot to be in at this point in the season. especially with the narratives that will force. I don't think Pep is going to allow his team to lose that game at the Etihad.
Don't you feel like
I don't think his players can allow it.
Yeah, George, don't you feel like with Arsenal though, with a game like this, that everyone, don't you think that's probably made them a little bit more grounded and like they realize not every game is going to be a game where we batter them. There will be mistakes at points, and there might be a blip, and teams are going to sit back to the high heavens, and you're going to have to play a different type of way to get that goal. Obviously, the way they did. Obviously, they missed quite a few chances too, as well. Quite a few chances. So don't you think like a result like that is that not all the better for them? Does anyone not agree with that? Because sometimes you need to be brought back down to reality to say, like, you know, we're not every game's going to be that way, like typically.
Yeah, I agree to some extent. They can always be like, you can always have these games and that are going to help you grow in confidence in it being a bit tight. And look, like you said, they don't always need to batter a team, but it was only just the week before that they'd lost to Porto, and that was supposed to be their humbling to remind them that, look, you can't always play gung-ho, and there are going to be some teams that are going to be able to stop you, and when they do stop you need to find other ways and find other solutions.
Yeah.
Brentford, obviously, it was a tight game. It was a game that looked like they were going to walk away with a draw, and I don't think Brentford were too dangerous. I feel like it was just a game that Arsenal probably struggled from their own, like off their own doing. They just failed to put away some chances. But I don't think it's a game that they would want prior to the Man City game. I feel like going into the Man City game, especially off the fact that they beat them in the last game, they needed a big win. They needed the win that could show them, look, we're here to stay. This is confidence. But they didn't have that, and I'm still off the thinking that this break is not one that's going to benefit them. Going into a big game, having 3-4 days to prepare for the big game, it's just not something that a position that I, as a Tottenham fan, would want to be in going into a game against Arsenal, Liverpool, or one of the other big teams myself. So.
Tip for tap. But for me, right now, I've got more reason to doubt Man City, and I've got no doubt to doubt Arsenal. That's just my head. But you know, football's a strange old game where you can never doubt Pep. To be honest, have we not learned our lesson over the years? Let me do this super chat quick. 5Z Fist. I was laughing at it. So Ramadan Kareem Kaz, are you Albanian? Big up. No, I'm not Albanian. I'm not Eastern European. Nothing. I'm just I'm just fish and chips with some paella. I'm fish and chips with some paella and with a bit of red district. If you know. Do you know what I mean? What do they call it? The Aryan Rabens of the world. That's me. So red light district, man. That country. But yeah, well, I appreciate it for the super chat and big up yourself, man. Guys, are 600 and it's fluctuating quite a lot. 630 people in here. Please smash the like button, and obviously you can check out. Look, everyone's stuff is you can see in their name tags. If you want to type it into your YouTube or save it or screenshot it, you can go find them later. Except for Jaws, his one's literally Do-Rag Diaries on TikTok. As I said, there will be some Tottenham meltdowns, so it's going to be hilarious. Because them Do-Rag Diaries, he either goes missing or he doesn't. But yeah, look, Arsenal are in scintillating form, and Erdegaard's popping up at the right times. Right now, he's looking like an alien, Mr. Controller, Mr. Needle Threader. Obviously, the defense is still crisp, regardless of that goal. That's not their fault. Tiang Yang says Arsenal have to play the 4 of the traditional big 6. Liverpool and City have 1 each. One of the 4 might have cause a problem for Arsenal. You're totally right.
We've got 2.
City would have 2 as well because they have to play Arsenal and play us. So yeah.
Oh yeah. They got 2 each. Then who have you got, Tom? You got Man United.
We got to play Tottenham at home and United away.
You know what? Tottenham when they come away from home, I can't lie. When they got their 11, I ain't gonna count. If we're gonna move on to the Tottenham game versus Aston Villa for the last segment, it's like, man, you just can't doubt it. Like, this is why I didn't say that Villa was gonna walk all over them, because when they got a Doji or Udoji or Doggy, sorry, and Pedro Porro, the whole game changes for me. Van der Ven made Ollie Watkins look like a toothpick, bruv. Like, honestly, guy had him for dinner. It's handled differently. Honestly, this is where obviously people get carried away a little bit and say Tottenham will get top 4. But right now, I can't see Villa maintaining. So maybe it's a good. So maintaining is a good shout for Tottenham if they can stay fit.
What do you mean? What do you mean get carried away though? Because Tottenham have always been the front runners for the. Even though we've been fifth, everyone's always. Any smart fan would have maintained that we're going to overtake Villa at one point in the season.
You know what it is. You know what it is for me, George, is that even with your first 11s and stuff like that. Granted, one player might be missing, but it's like when that one play is kind of missing in that system, it hasn't been severely convincing to say that you're going to go beat this team today. Do you get what I mean? Even the Palace one, it took you like 80 minutes to get really into the game and get your goals. That's what I'm saying. It's like one player missing, and that's a fine margin. And that might, but as I said, look, I don't believe it. I can't lie. I said the Villa fixture list yesterday. I don't believe in them. I think they capitulate.
Yeah, no, I agree. I know their next four fixtures,
especially with Europe as well. They're still in Europe.
That's my whole thing.
And they got a massive game next week because they drew 0-0. Like especially those types of things are what are going to play a big role into these fixtures. Because the likes of West Ham as well, when you lose your first away European fixture and you got to come home, that game's bigger on a Thursday, and then you also got the Sunday game. You sort of have to choose priority at one point in between. Are you going to focus on Europe and are you going to focus on the Prem? And that happens to all these teams when they try to play Europa League and gets into the latter stages. Villa, they were poor yesterday, honestly. They didn't have a shot on target. They didn't really trouble us at one point. Van de Ven getting injured isn't. I hope it's a minor injury. It did look very minor, but it was again another strain to the hamstring. So it's
wait, what was the score by then? By the way, what was the score then?
It was 0-0. It was 0-0. He come off in the 48th minute, pretty much just before we scored the 2 goals. But like I said, handled Ollie Watkins differently. I think there was one time he got through on goal and within 2 seconds, those legs were moving. I've honestly never seen a defender as quick as Van de Ven before in my life. He's rapid, but quick goals. Good performances from Sarr, good performances from Maddison, Sonny. Our big players are stepping up and we need them. And yeah, man, when you talk about needle threaders and people that can play a pass, you need to look at none other than James Maddison, man. James Maddison.
Yesterday, sorry, only like since he's been back, he was injured for a long time though, so I'll give him credit, I'll give him leeway. But it was yesterday, which is probably his best performance.
Yeah, I feel like Palace was good, but it was like a step up. And then yesterday was more of like old school James Maddison dropping in deep, sort of controlling the game, moving the ball. But I just feel like you said, when we've got our full team, we're a danger to most teams. We can always cause problems. I feel like defensively we're more stout. We don't really concede as much chances. The big thing for us though is when we go forward, it's just about taking our opportunities, because we create a lot, but we don't take a lot of shots. We get into the box and then we cut back and we sort of do this thing like similar to City where we start to overplay the ball. And I've seen Arsenal do it as well a lot of times where no one steps up in that front line to say, I'm going to take the shot. I'm going to take the responsibility on this attack. Everyone seems to pass off to try find the easiest opportunity. So at times I feel like we have problems scoring, but we score in bunches, man, and we don't play games. 2 in 2 minutes twice yesterday. Werner onto the score sheet. Yeah, man, things are looking good. Top 4 for me has never really been a question. I know obviously people have questioned whether we're going to stay consistent or not, but with regards to actually going up there and performing it, I don't think Aston Villa are going to maintain it, like you said. I don't think Man United are going to close the gap between us. It's a 6-point gap. 2 inconsistent Man United, even though I think, you know what, you lot have an outside chance of overtaking Villa. If they really go on a bad run of form, if they drop 3 or 4 games in a row, you guys could overtake them.
My hope for you is more like you've got Liverpool, City, and Arsenal to play. Where Man United, as I said, I'm in belief that we get over Liverpool. I'm going to be honest. I don't care what it is. I'll always back myself over Liverpool at Old Trafford, no matter what the situation is. Even though in history it tells me sometimes you shouldn't always do that.
Energy, by the way. Don't
I will keep that energy, not for FA Cup, Premier League.
No. You said you was going to knock us out.
And then Tottenham's also got to go Chelsea away, same as us. So I believe there are points to be gained, and we got people like Sheffield United. Other than we got Brentford away, which is not in the greatest form. They might actually suit. Brentford might even beat us, to be fair, but we've got like Burnley.
Those games are the worst type of games for you though, because you can't get you struggle to get over the line against the smaller teams.
Yeah, but we got Sheffield United and Burnley and stuff like that, and I feel like, you know what,
they're the worst games for you though.
I don't think we're finishing 4th, but I think 5th place is more like the battle for Man United.
There's definitely 5th to play for you guys with the opportunity of Villa dropping points. But
I think you're going to be too good. You're too. When you get in your run, Tottenham can get in there.
That's what I said. I feel like there's going to be fourth. There's gonna be top three, and then there's gonna be fourth, and then there's gonna be fifth and sixth. Like all, I think we're probably gonna have a gap between the fifth place.
You know what?
Probably
We don't deserve it, anyways. Aston Villa right now. Aston Villa deserve Champions League more than Man United. I'm not gonna cap. What do we like? I know there's Champions League money, and people say, "What do you want to do in there?" But it's like if you don't deserve it, you don't deserve it. End of the day, I've been cussing Ten Hag all years, and all of a sudden we deserve to scam our way into Champions League. Not all season, shall I say? I'll say half the season now, but yeah, it's true though, isn't it? It's true. They do right now.
This was always going to happen to Villa. Then this was always going to happen to Villa. I've not been one of the ones who was engaging. Oh, Villa late title challenge, or Villa going to get because this is a team that's never been in Europe before, and they're now in a tournament which, I'll be honest, they're expected to go far in. That adds up on the legs when it's your first time, and they're already struggling with injuries as it is. They've got a couple of long-term ones, which means that the starters have to play a lot more minutes, and it adds up. There was always going to be a bit of a fall-off with Villa. It's just, were they going to have enough of a safety net in terms of a point gap to cover it? And I don't think they do.
Yeah, fair.
8 points at the moment between them and United, though.
Yeah, it can be caught up though. Anything can happen in it. This April period's mad. Like you go look at the fixtures. It's like there's so many big games for.
I agree. April's a big month.
Even Man United, there's the couple blips and it's at the start. So if they get over that blip, then there's no reason for them not to continue. But that blip could be the reason why Man United get absolutely wiped away from even that talk in general, even for fifth. Could be the case.
You saying, George? Because you reckon you guys, because you win your game in hand, you're on 56 points. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even want to go out there and say we win the game in hand straight away. Even though I do feel confident we're going to beat Chelsea, it is away at Stamford Bridge. So I'm more of the point of when it depends when the game comes as to how important it's going to be of a win. It's
because you know it is, people look at a points gap a bit differently. Like the same points you're away from like United and like Sokoa, the same points you're kind of off Manchester City should you win your game in hand. Is there any sort of hope there to break into the top three, or do you reckon top four is your ceiling this season?
Top four is the ceiling this season. I feel like I've sort of recognized that maybe back in December. You could see that the top three just there is definitely a gap between them and the rest of the league. They're the three teams that can maintain consistency when needed. They've just got better performers that are a bit more consistent. And I don't see us breaking into the top three yet. Not this year. I think there's, like I said, there's going to be a top three and then probably even like a 7-8 point gap between us and them fourth, and then another 7-point gap between fifth. That's what I think it'll be like.
You can see the framework of a very good team with Tottenham. If they can find a way to get the mentality that the other teams have above them, there's a framework there of very good players, very good young players that they can work with and build around for the next 4 or 5 years, provided they keep Ange. Yeah. They could make their way into that top 3-4, especially if one of us or City, because Pep ain't lasted another 5 years. If one of us or City, when the manager goes, it has a wobble and has a drop off, Tottenham are in the prime positions, just take that spot.
Yeah, maybe. You never know, innit?
Because I can't say Chelsea are, because they're not. They're in the prime position to take Brighton's spot in 8th.
They got to play Newcastle tonight.
I can't say United are, because I don't think your manager is good enough for it. I think your manager is,
cheeks.
And I don't think you've got the players for it either, to be honest.
Cheeks.
So I can't say you. Tottenham, it's just a mentality thing with them. I think player-wise, they've got good players for it, but it's such a deep-rooted mentality problem at Tottenham. How are they going to get over that?
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, guys, look, we're going to end up wrapping up there. Go over to Side TV. I'm pretty sure there's some excuses for LB. He said the lineup that was kind of leaked that he was definitely going to win the game, so you know what to do. But yeah, and other than that, as you can see, everyone's channels and stuff, TikToks, you can see it all here as well. Big Six Bands. Don's got a channel, so if you want to go subscribe to him, it's in the chat. So if you want to click on that as well, it's up to you. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to drop a Chelsea video tonight, so make sure you watch out for that as well. And yeah, man, enjoy your days, and we're out, man. I appreciate it if I can do it.